Hey, ready to jump into these Salesforce Winter 24 and 25 release notes?
Always. They're massive this time around.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack, which is why we're here. We've sifted through everything to bring you the highlights so you can get back to work. But seriously, Salesforce is making some bold moves, judging from these
I
releases.
agree. It's like they looked into a crystal ball and said, here's the future.
And that future is looking pretty AI-powered, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. AI is everywhere in these release notes. And it's not just hype. It's real integration with Einstein.
Yeah, Einstein's definitely getting a promotion this time. We're seeing big AI enhancements across sales, service, marketing, basically anywhere you can imagine.
Oh, and we can't forget about Einstein Copilot if you had a chance to read about that yet.
A little bit. It
Well,
sounds like Salesforce is giving us a super-powered AI assistant.
it really does.
Yeah.
Imagine having an AI that helps you with daily tasks right inside Salesforce. It can draft emails, analyze data, and so much more.
It's wild. And you know what I love? It all ties back to this theme of making the user experience better. Because who wants complicated software, right?
Right. Salesforce knows that a happy user is a productive user, so they're really focused on making the platform even more user-friendly.
Exactly. Like faster list views, better navigation, improved search. Those seemingly small changes make a huge difference.
Totally. And speaking of big differences, mobile users are finally getting dynamic forms. You know how on desktop you can customize those forms?
Yeah.
Now you can have that same flexibility on mobile. No more workarounds for entering data on the go. It's
Yeah.
a game changer.
Huge, especially with more people working remotely. Speaking of connecting things seamlessly, deeper integrations are another major trend in these releases.
Absolutely. Salesforce is partnering with big names like Google Analytics 4, Databricks, even Amazon Athena.
It's all about breaking down those data silos and giving you a complete view of your business.
Exactly. You'll be able to access and analyze data from these different platforms, all within Salesforce.
Powerful stuff. It's like connecting those hidden dots. Like, remember that note about Salesforce switching to OAuth 2.0 authentication for Einstein activity capture?
Yeah, because Microsoft is retiring an older service.
It shows how these updates are about more than just new features. They're about staying ahead of the curve in a constantly changing tech landscape.
Exactly. Salesforce is proactive,
Yeah.
not reactive.
I like that. Proactive. So, ready to take a closer look at some of the coolest, most intriguing details from these release notes?
I am so there. Let's dive in.
All right. Let's dive into some of the cool specifics. And I think we should start with field service.
Definitely a hot topic in Winter 24.
For sure. So, work capacity management, that's a mouthful. But it sounds super useful for managers.
It is. Imagine being able to set limits on how many hours your team can work so no one's getting overloaded.
Right. Preventing burnout before it happens. Love that.
Yeah.
And they're making it easier to move to the enhanced scheduling and optimization engine, too.
Yeah, smooth transition for everyone, which
Yeah.
is always good. Because who likes a headache when you're trying to improve efficiency, right?
Exactly. Now let's switch gears to the data cloud. It seems like Salesforce is really giving it center stage this time around.
They are. And one of the most exciting things is how they're integrating it with CRM analytics. Real-time analysis across multiple data spaces. That's
Right.
huge.
Data everywhere. But it's not just about having a lot of data. It's about getting those insights, those aha moments.
Absolutely. Imagine connecting the dots between your customer data, sales numbers, marketing campaigns, all in real time.
That's some next level stuff. And they're taking data security seriously, too. That new feature for transferring Snowflake data to CRM analytics using VPC on AWS.
Super secure, your data is locked down tight.
Love to hear that. Speaking of locking things down, code, Winter 24 has some exciting updates for developers, too.
Absolutely. One of the biggest is that they're letting developers build Lightning Web Components using TypeScript.
TypeScript. For those of us who don't speak code, can you break that down for us? What's the big deal?
It's all about writing cleaner code, which means fewer errors and a smoother experience for everyone. Developers will love it.
Music to their ears. And that real-time preview feature in local dev. No more waiting around for changes to show up.
Talk about a productivity booster. And you know what else caught my eye? They're moving towards using native Shadow DOM for base Lightning components.
Native Shadow DOM. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one. Sounds a little intimidating.
Don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. Think of it like this.
Oh.
Each element on a web page gets its own little contained space.
So everything's more organized.
Exactly. It's like having separate containers for your Legos, so you don't end up with a giant messy pile.
Love that analogy. Makes perfect sense. So we've covered a lot of ground here. AI, user experience, field service, data cloud, developer tools.
It's a lot to take in. But what's the main takeaway for our listeners? What's the one thing they should remember?
It is a lot, but it's exciting stuff. If you ask me, the key is that Salesforce isn't standing still.
Right. It's like they're always thinking, what's next? And they're giving us the tools to keep up.
Exactly. So how can our listeners make sure they're not getting left in the dust?
Well, first things first, don't be afraid to explore the release notes yourselves. I know they're huge.
Massive.
But Salesforce has made them easier to navigate. Use those filters, search for keywords, focus on what matters to you.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel for Salesforce.
Huh, exactly. And don't forget about those webinars and Trailhead modules. Salesforce has tons of resources to help you digest everything.
Absolutely. Take advantage of them, because this is just a taste of what's to come. Salesforce is constantly pushing the boundaries.
Totally. So stay curious, stay informed, and get ready for what's next.
Well said. It's a journey, not a destination, right? And speaking of journeys, we talked a lot about AI today, so I have to ask, how do you see yourself working with Salesforce as AI takes an even bigger role?
Ooh, that's a great question.
It's the future, and we want to hear from you. Head over to social media and share your thoughts, predictions, concerns, everything. Use the hashtag #DeepDiveSalesforceAI.
We might even feature some of your comments on a future episode.
We just might. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Salesforce Winter 24 and 25 release notes. Until next time.